Pokemon Legends ZA is a broken mess, but somehow, that is my fault. So this is me playing the game as it instructs you. You need to hide behind cover, especially because, like, you see the person's coming up, they're investigating. I hide, I do the sneak attack, I get advantage. That's the whole point of the ZA Royale. And then the trainer throws their Pokemon behind cover. The system is so broken I can't do anything to target it. If it was a larger Pokemon, I could actually target it. My Pokemon's staring at theirs. Theirs can see me and attacking, but I have no way of interacting with the opposing Pokemon because the battle system was made to be flawed from the start. And I've had many criticisms of this. Also, I eventually just insta-win the battle anyways, so it doesn't actually matter in any way. I'm just sitting here watching the game being broken. There's no pathing AI. There's no failsafe to fixing the game state. The game puts itself in for playing properly, and I can actually show that this is so stupidly repeatable without even trying to bug the game that it just really proves this is a terrible game that is indefensible in pretty much every way. But yeah, again, like the game shitting itself, that's my fault because it's on me to fix the game after it bricks over playing as the tutorial instructs you how to play. So it's like, why don't you move? I'm too unskilled. And then it's also just like a lot of dishonesty. This is something I've covered a lot on my channel. The Pokemon community is evil. Like 90% of the Pokemon community is evil. And this even shows it. Like, I went viral for having a team of 4 Kakuna and also the game breaking itself when I play it. Or also just anyone. Like, this is the average, most basic experience because the game is designed to be this broken. And it's not just me. It's a very common experience for people playing the game to just have it break and not work. So tweet is, thank you, Totodile, for your help. This is a very basic thing. Like, this is deliberately put here. Should you use a special attack with range? Yes, but what if you don't have that? What if you're just throwing out your Pokemon? Instead of using Water Gun, they use Tackle. And then the pathing is so broken. The entire combat system, the entire selection and targeting system is so broken that it goes the wrong way and doesn't even attack it. It's like, it goes all the way out here. Like, this is how bad the AI is. This is how bad the pathing is to accomplish absolutely nothing in the battle. And I think, and a lot of people, the exact same thing happened to me and almost everyone. Which is the common thing. Like, the exact same thing happens to everyone who tries to ambush a trainer. It will bug out because the game is broken. Now, it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but it is very common depending on how you set it up. Like, anything, like, you're supposed to hide here. So actually, let me pull up the tutorial, because people are like, oh, this isn't what the tutorial tells you. It's literally what the tutorial tells you. The picture, the example they give you is more lame than anything I have done in any of my videos, like how much you have to hide and run behind stuff. So that's what they tell you. They tell you to do it this, you need to get the first strike. So that's what I'm doing here, and it doesn't happen every single time, but it just kind of shows like the game is broken in a multitude of different reasons, but everything just kind of comes out. It's like, oh, randomly, now I can target the Raichu. If I put my Pokemon out, I think their Raichu can see it, which will then alert the trainer, but then the trainer doesn't exactly see me. It's like, all this stuff just kind of breaking. If I don't get cut off, like, see, like, okay, ran behind that. I know he's there. I can see him that time. I need to be crouched behind the thing. It's all camera-based as well, so I can target him now. So, this drops target. This has target. I can select a move briefly, and then that also just kind of breaks. I have no control. I can't move my Pokemon into position without getting caught. I'm not even doing anything in stages. This is just the natural thing, like, oh, I got pincered by this trainer wandering over here and investigating, and now everything is just kind of bricked. So maybe if I throw him out, bounce it off that, get that one thing, and then we hit it like this. Okay, so now this happens. That's a one-hit KO. I'm still behind this. I have no opportunity to move. It is impossible for me to move while they go through that animation. And now, that happens. We didn't have as big of a planter, but just like, oh, depending on my positioning, it's automatically going to do that. And then there's nothing built, like there is no programming inside the game to salvage the situation it puts you into for playing by the tutorial.
Land hits it, there it is. Oh! Oh wait, I thought his dude actually like fell off. What? Oh, what? I have to like sneak up on him. No.
It even came up when recording a different video. Like, okay, cool, I try to get the sneak on Drampa. Drampa sees my Feraligatr, dude comes up to investigate. I'm just pinned here until I throw out the attack. So I'm just kind of like describing, hey, look, the same thing is happening. So we walk over, get the first strike, and then this also made me realize something about why the system is broken, because my Feraligatr isn't over here where the KO happened, he tethers back to me. So if I'm behind cover, my Pokemon has already moved itself behind the cover by the time the dude runs over and then throws out another Pokemon. That's going to be on the other side of the cover. And then it's just, and then they get to attack first. Somehow their AI is allowed to see me and lock onto a wall, but I'm not allowed to see them or attack them or have any interaction with that. And my Pokemon's bugging out, theirs is bugging out. The only reason it got fixed is because they used a dash move, but the game doesn't have any way of rectifying this. And once again, like, I played correctly. It is impossible for me to take action because he's going to be calling out his Pokemon after I get the KO. Like, I can't move. It's an immediate transition. And then when you come out of that transition, the game is in a locked state that you are forced to rectify, which is poor programming, especially because it happens half the time you ambush a trainer. That need to be tested. There need to be something about that. But the core system of how all the Pokemon are linked together and how the targeting works is why the game is bad. So on Twitter, 1% like ratio is about the average. Elon Musk said that a long time ago. So I have a 0.1% like ratio, which just kind of means like, oh yeah, 90% at least of the Pokemon community is just evil and hateful. And then again, the dishonesty would be like, oh, he doesn't even know how to play the game, can't use a joystick, can't play Pokemon. It's like, bro, I just breezed through that battle. I barely took any damage, and I did all the mechanics flawlessly. It just shat itself, and that's my problem. And then, like, the expectation is I earn advantage, I get the surprise attack, but then I have to disadvantage myself by walking in to an onslaught barrage of attacks. Like, okay, so when am I supposed to do it? How am I supposed to predict that? Because the reason why the battle system is so broken is you can't do anything until you target the opposing Pokemon. And then when you do, there's a lot of lag and delay and clunkiness because you have to send out the little ring, the Pokemon has to go to the ring, and then you're allowed to attack, while the opposing AI doesn't have to worry about that. They're auto-locked onto you, they're doing everything frame perfect, they don't have any delays, they don't have any lockouts. So you have to clunk into the battle system. And then again, like, the expectation is I'm supposed to walk out into a move because I earned advantage and the game broke itself. But then, somehow, people are complaining about the team. Terrible Pokemon challenge idea. Why can I beat Pokemon Legends ZA as Verlisify and use this team? Not seeing any of the gameplay, being too stupid to understand what the team is even for, or how it affects my game at all. That now this is something that people are using against me, that I'm, like, bad at Pokemon Legends ZA, even though I beat it faster than any other streamer, and I had zero difficulty and problem whatsoever. So, like, yeah, for Kakuna, it's entirely on you. So it's my fault. Like, Pokemon Legends ZA, me disliking Pokemon Legends ZA is my fault because I used for Kakuna, even though it actually made me enjoy the game more, and we're going to talk about why this is actually a strategic decision. Because, again, no one has any context, or they're just too stupid to figure it out. We have the research request, evolving Pokemon. So Weedle is the fastest evolving Pokemon in the game. It's like level 6 and level 10. So 1 to 2 battles, and then you can take a Weedle all the way to a Beedrill, which is 2 evolutions right there. You can have 5 of them on your team, so that's 10 right there. You just do a couple battles, and then you hit 40 out of 40, and it's 9, so you get over 4,000 research points for this. Insta, early on in the game, and it costs nothing. Like, that's, again, the dishonesty or just the evil and toxicity to, like, blame the Kakuna when the Kakuna didn't cause the game to bug out and also didn't impede in any way. My Crocnaw didn't get KO'd, and I'm not like fumbling around with a Kakuna going, oh man, this game sucks, my Kakuna's useless. None of that happened. Like, these are just fabrications and hallucinations of deeply hateful and disgusting people. And these losers are so worthless that when you, like, ask them to explain their reasoning, they are completely incapable of doing so. It's like, okay, how does 4 Kakuna ruin my experience? Because they're mad I'm saying, like, the game is completely indefensible, which is another tweet that the Pokemon community got mad at me about. And even though it's not the nicest thing to say you aren't human if you enjoy the game, it's proven by the game. If you find it entertaining, you are not a gamer. You are not a Pokemon fan. You aren't even sentient, because there is no substance to the game. The first 5 hours of Pokemon Legends ZA is an interactive cutscene, and then the rest of the story is a tutorial with 0 difficulty and 0 challenge and 0 content behind it. That once you get into the gameplay loop, as I explained in my review, it's 3 Rogue Mega Battles, a 30-minute fetch quest, 20 ZA Royale battles, like 15 ZA Royale battles to get the rank up, then you have to do 3 subordinate battles, then the gym challenge, and you loop that 7 times. It's a treadmill that has 0 story progression, there's no content inside the game at any point, and it is literally designed to waste your time. So yes, if you are worthless, and you have no value for your time, and you have no experience with gaming, and you think just being fed that slop of the same thing over and over again for no progression is good gameplay, I don't think you have any self-awareness to be considered a human. You are an NPC. You are terminally online, brain-rotted, to then also prove that by being incredibly hateful in the response, and then attaching all of your worth into defending this trash, unsalvageable game. So yeah, I asked them, okay, so how does this affect anything? Like, how do the Kakuna cause the AI to glitch out? How is my experience made worse? If you can't see the issue, so I asked them to explain, and they can. This is another thing that my audience is very well acquainted with the evil of the Pokemon community. I beg, I'm like, hey, what is one thing I have done wrong? What is an example of me being a bad person? They never give it. I beg every time. It's just, you know what you've did, or they link a video and I say, I've debunked everything on video. Can you please give one example? Like, they just, like, throw up a Google search and they say, like, see? It's like, no, can you give one example so we can figure out this example and then see if it has any validity? But no, they just post lies and BS and then they just get deranged. So it's like, here's the derangement. I ask them, okay, you're upset at me over this. You're hateful and toxic. You have no humanity inside of you. Can you at least find a way to explain whatever drives your emotions? If you can't see the issue, then maybe you should find a series more suited to your cognitive abilities. The irony in this, but again, that's just like 90% of the Pokemon community, is just this non-functioning. Once again, proving the original comment. If you can't explain, it's because you're toxic and an idiot. So please, what is the issue? Like, they say it ruined my experience because they're mad I'm saying there's nothing defensible about this game. But as I just explained, like, the Kakuna were one of the few things, or like, that discovery enhanced my enjoyment of the game. Now, I still find the game just irredeemable, but it's one of those things like, oh hey, I can min-max a little bit right here. So I found something skillful. I used critical thinking to enhance the game. Nah, you're wrong. You're not going to enjoy a game if you use the worst Pokemon in it. Well, it's actually not the worst Pokemon. It's one of the best Pokemon because of the research task. And again, it didn't have any effect in any of the media that I've shown. And since they're saying for Kakuna, they're like, oh, you're upset at the game because the Kakuna are on your team for this interaction, even though it just has nothing. And once again, the reply is just proving the sentiment. So I thought this person responded. They didn't. We got someone else just tagging in. I get your points and views, but another weird thing, like, you're correct, but Legends ZA, minus all of its graphical issues, which aren't even, like, the worst parts of the game, is a good game. But I've explained how it objectively is not a good game. Battles are not fresh and exciting. There's no action mechanics whatsoever. It's just, you stand in front of the opponent, and then you button mash, and it's the easiest Pokemon game ever made. The battle zones make for a good challenge. There's literally no challenge. I have videos showing that for the ZA Royale. Like, the thing is, if you want to optimize the ZA Royale, you're supposed to run at a trainer, get caught off guard, and then one-shot them. That's the entire gameplay loop of the game. But when you're arguing like this, me asking, hey, can you explain yourself, is like my fault. Everything around me breaks, but that's my fault for being rational and a critically thinking person. You also had 4 Kakuna on your team in the early game. You don't want to enjoy the game. So just more fabrications of their ill mind. We're just like, how does that show I don't want to enjoy the game when it's like, that? No, that was like the one thing making me enjoy it. And then once again, I reply and people can't do it. What's wrong with the team? Just toxic replies because there's nothing objectively. It is impossible to find a flaw or an argument against that team because it has 0 impact on the game breaking or my enjoyment of the game. Self-explanatory. Once again, like, they only know hate. These are not, they aren't humans. They're NPCs with so much terminally online brain rot. They are only programmed to be toxic and hateful. They cannot exist. They are just a pile of evil. You picked Kakuna, an early game bug, and then you say the game is ass while having 4 of them on your team. Except, I didn't bring them out. I didn't do anything. So it's the same argument over and over and over. Maybe I am the one that's insane for thinking the Pokemon community isn't evil, or that there's any amount of intelligence to be found in the discussion here. But it just kind of shows, like, it's weird how the NPCs only fall into the same tracks of negativity and hate, no matter what I do, even when it's objectively not my fault. Just more stuff like that. Like, we're in a different conversation. I know you're not trying to say this with 4 Kakuna on your team, so I'm just stating the fact that Wolf Glick is a confirmed cheater. So people always getting really pissy about that, and then they're saying, like, okay, there's no advantage. It doesn't give an advantage, therefore it's not cheating. Modifying Pokemon, it's like hacking the game isn't cheating in Pokemon, but then I prove them wrong. Time and resources are objective competitive advantages. So I get proven wrong, but somehow me using 4 Kakuna and the game glitching makes it to where Wolfie isn't a cheater, and using hacking tools in Pokemon doesn't give a time or resource advantage. Fuck. This is my life. This is the baffling state of a vast majority of the Pokemon community. I gotta bump it up to 95% after this. Like, everyone... And then, once again, the self-fulfilling prophecy. Everyone that plays and defends Pokemon Legends Arceus is an idiot, as shown through all of these interactions. The sales of Pokemon Legends Arceus are also going to be crazy, because we have 3.1 million impressions on this one, and then we also have over 2 million here. So, like, I'm going to have more impressions between 2 tweets. Now, again, there's going to be a lot of overlap. There's also still going to be, like, hundreds of thousands of unique people that didn't see one or the other. And then the retweets and quote tweets of all this, which are also just, like, crazy and toxic. I have dominated the Twitter search of 4 Kakunas. So that's just everything. 4 Kakunas is surprised he got bodied in an E for everyone game. Except I didn't get bodied. I breezed through the game more than anyone else that played it. So that's well over 10 million impressions, which means there's more unique people that have seen this than will have bought Pokemon Legends ZA, especially if we remove Japan from it, because a lot of it is going to be Western audience. I don't have, like, reach in Japan or anything. I haven't seen any retweets from that. A lot of Spanish accounts, but that's also just, like, the crossover with Centro and Pokemon leaks and stuff. So the Verlis hate squad is larger than the audience of Pokemon Legends ZA, which also just kind of shows, like, yeah, the majority of ZA players are just brain rot idiots that can't defend anything. You know, ignoring the fact that you and the enemy are behind cover, so of course you can't target, even though they can target me. And it's also the weird thing where the opposing Pokemon can identify you and help alert the trainer to the battle, but you can't do it the same. So, like, the enemy just gets to cheat and have a different battle system than you. And then it's like, then I'm dumb for having 4 Kakunas. And the ugliest fit imaginable. So, like, all these cosmetic things that have no impact because they are just programmed to be hateful and toxic, and they can't actually explain any of the reasons why they feel these emotions. It's crazy. And then there's just no winning with evil. And that statement in isolation makes a lot of sense, but this is Pokemon. This is 90% of the Pokemon community, where, like, no matter what you do, you're always in the wrong. Because if I didn't play the game because I thought it was bad, they would say, oh, you can't hate on the game because you didn't play it. But then if you play the game, they insult you and say, why did you buy the game if you thought it was bad? It's just how this community is only capable of lies, toxicity, and dishonesty. So, like, yeah, I talk about how the game had 0 difficulty, which is also another thing that shows, like, all the action combat is fake. Every piece of praise that people have to say about the game is just a lie. Like, we have other people just saying, like, oh, everything about it was amazing. This is peak Pokemon. Again, brain rot, completely ill. So I say, yeah, the game had no difficulty. And then this guy says, like, oh, I'll prove you wrong. If you complete 0 side missions, catch only enough for a single team, and only your favorites, and use no experience candies, you will struggle. Except my live stream shows that I did that. I rushed as fast as possible. I went into as few wild zones as possible. I didn't catch any Pokemon except for Weedle. So it's like, yeah, I only caught Weedle, leveled them up, and then I was able to just breakdance through the entire game, and I was over leveled, and there was no difficulty, and I still one-shot everything. It's like, I proved this guy wrong, and then it's, oh, but you didn't play the game. So me beating the game is me not playing the game. So therefore, despite easily playing the game, I actually didn't play the game, therefore I'm not allowed to critique it. And calling that out is rage bait. That I'm rage baiting by saying beating the game is not playing it. And then that's also like multiple responses and replies to the Pokemon community is so deranged, they hallucinated an entirely different experience than what Pokemon Legends ZA objectively is. And if we go back to the gameplay, we can see it was actually like 1 pixel. Like he's here. My camera just like is not high enough. I'm not even trying to wiggle the camera. I'm just in awe of the game breaking, which is why I'm not like moving any of the controls or anything. And then like right there, like that's the difference. Difference is that and that. And also you need to understand, like, we are fighting. Croconaw is under attack and just does not care. And that's something I pointed out about the battle system really early on. I was like, what are you doing, Totodile? We are fighting, Totodile. He's just walking back and forth. Same thing for the Chikorita demo against the Binnacle that I've shown in my videos as well. Where it's like, Chikorita doesn't acknowledge that we're in a battle. You swap Pokemon and they are not engaged in combat. The Pokemon are never combatants until you press ZL, which doesn't make any sense. Because, like, everything on screen, everything happening is a battle. And there's no way to fix it because the Pokemon is directly linked to you, has to go to that little circle, and if it doesn't, the game just craps itself because the enemy AI is unfair. Like, objectively, again, has, like, more freedom in all these other things to be unfair against you, and then has no ways of, like, fixing anything. Yeah, once again, majority of the Pokemon community is a cesspool. They love lying, cheating, stealing, being hateful, can't live without it, or any of these other things. Also, when, like, you get caught on a roof or from below in, like, these really weird ways, and then the battle system breaks even more, it's just bad. It's indefensible, as I've said. And somehow, that's my fault. Hope you guys enjoy the... And somehow, that's my fault. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.